Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it's time for? It's time for Ron the Car Guy from Westside Auto Pros. And today, Ron, you're going to touch on something that a lot of people may experience, but some people never say anything about it. We're talking about getting into somebody's car and just going, ew.
We're stopping the stink.
Yeah. We're going to stop the stink. You know, if you've ever got into someone's car and it smells like a high school
locker room.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Gym
What are you
bag
saying, huh? What are you saying, Ron?
That's really not gym socks underneath the seat. No, it's actually, and you know, we're noticing it more right now this time of year because of the humidity.
And the heat.
And the heat and stuff, it compounds the problem. And what it actually is there's a lot of little microbes getting a free ride around your car. I mean, it's mold, it's mildew, it's all that stuff that you don't want to breathe that's causing the smell. And where it occurs is it occurs in a device like this. Scott, we're going to make you zoom in here to take a peek at this.
What is that thing?
This is called an evaporator. Some people think it's a cooling device for your smartphone if you do too much Pokemon, but it's not. This is actually a component that's inside your car. And we talked about a few shows ago how the refrigerant and air conditioning system removes heat from air. That's how it cools. That's what this device does. The refrigerant circulates through here and it blows air through here like a radiator. And when the air passes across here, it cools the air down. Well, when you take hot air, you condense it into cold air, you create water and moisture. Mm-hmm. And that's why when you're running your air conditioner in the summertime, you see that water dripping out because it's running off the face of this and then goes out through a drain.
So a lot of people might see water dripping out from under their car. It's coming from here, not necessarily where the engine is.
Absolutely. They divert it out to where the engine is. But yeah, it's actually this. You'll see water will just run off of this in the wintertime or in the summertime if it's working properly. So what happens is now we have a wet, moist environment inside your car, and then we have heat when you shut your car off, and mold and mildew start to build up.
Yeah, because it's enclosed and it's plastic enclosed.
Absolutely, and this is all located.
I was gonna say, where is this at in my vehicle?
This is behind your dash.
Behind the dash.
Yeah, usually around the passenger side, like behind the glove box. There's a plastic box in there that contains this. And if you have that smell, it's also containing the mold and the mildew. All that stuff is growing inside of there. And it's creating that smell that you have in your vehicle. And so, you know, from an air quality standpoint, it's important to get rid of that, as well as a function standpoint. If you start having mold and mildew covering up part of this, then not as much air comes through, your air conditioner doesn't work
blocking
as well.
the fins.
Exactly.
Now,
so,
we talk a lot about the cabin air filter.
Yes.
And a lot of people might have a smell and they replace the cabin air filter, but lo and behold, the smell is still around.
Exactly. The cabin air filter.
Yeah, where does that go in relation to this?
So let's say the fan's going to blow air across here. The cabin air filter goes in front of it to filter the incoming air. It takes out the bugs and the dust and the pollen that's coming in. But the mold's growing on the other side of the filter. So we can change that filter, and we're still going to end up with that smell because the nasty stuff is still stuck here.
Is there anything we can do to fix that?
Absolutely. Of course there is.
No, you're just out of luck. Ron's just here to tell you.
Well,
sorry.
It seems like it's so
Trade it
far
off.
back, like you would have to take the entire front of your car off to do something about it.
That is... that's one way to certainly fix it, and maybe in an extreme case you would have to do that. You know, the first thing that we check if someone has that issue is we make sure that drain, that all the water goes out underneath the car is open, because sometimes that'll get, you know, plugged up with just dirt and debris collects in there.
Right.
I saw one time a large bug, like a grasshopper, had tried crawling up into one of those and had the drain, you know, died there and had the drain plugged. So,
but you're going to have the mold and things like that will clog it up too.
Absolutely.
Kind of a scum that would fall down.
Absolutely, yeah, and you don't want scum riding around in your car.
No,
well,
leave your brother-in-law out of it, okay?
That sounds dangerous if you're talking mold and you're breathing that in.
It is, absolutely. It's stuff you don't want to breathe.
Right.
And so there's some different products out on the market. There's a couple of them that come in an aerosol can, and similar to Lysol, and you spray that in where in the grill work.
Yes, and can you get at it? Because you would have to get at it, don't you?
Exactly. And so spraying those products in sucks it in through the fan and it blows it across here. But it doesn't get a lot of it on there. It doesn't get enough. And a lot of times, those are just a deodorizer. They kind of mask the smell. They don't necessarily take care of the problem. And so there is a process out there, and we use it at Westside Auto Pros, where if you picture this component inside a big plastic box, because that's where it is, we can actually go in through the box, and we inject a foam. And this foam fills up the entire box, the ductwork. It covers this. It gets in between, and the foam actually has chemicals in it that will neutralize, dissolve, and remove the mold and the mildew that's on there.
Now, do you have to drill a hole in the box to get to it?
We do. It's a really small hole, and then there's a wand that goes in there that we put the foam in, and you have to kind of understand and know what's going on, because I mean, if you drill into this component, now you have an air conditioning leak,
right?
And someone's gonna have to pull the dash, and you're gonna spend $1,000 to fix it. So it's you gotta have a comprehension.
So is it kind of like that expandable foam that you might see around where you stick it in there, or is it?
Yeah, it's like the foaming bubbles that you would put in your bathtub.
Okay.
Like
scrubbing bubbles.
Scrubbing bubbles. Yeah, you spray it in there and it fills up, and according to the TV commercial, they zoom around, but they don't really do that. But that's what dissolves, and then it'll all come out the drain and stuff.
Now, do you have to rinse it afterwards, or is it all come out by itself?
Nope, it'll come out by itself. It's about a 45-minute process, to get all that cleaned up and stuff, and then you're clean and you're ready to go. Now, a couple of tips, some things you can do to possibly prevent this,
right,
is when you're air conditioning, when you're done driving your car, you can turn the air conditioning off, but you can leave the fan on high, so like it would blow vent air out instead of air conditioned air, and that blowing air across there will help to kind of dry this out.
Now, how long would you have to do that, though?
Probably 10 or 15 minutes, and nobody's going to do that.
Nobody's going to do that.
Who's going to sit in their car? When we first started, seeing this problem, manufacturers came out with what they called an afterblow device. So after you shut your car off and walked away from it, the fan would turn on automatically and blow across there to try to get the air out. But they had issues with the modules that control that. The fan would stay on, the battery would go dead. It was just a total train wreck. So most manufacturers quit doing that, and they just let it happen, and then you got to figure out a way to clean it when it's done.
Okay.
All right. So how much does that cost to do something like that?
You're looking about $125 to do that process, but it's not something you have to do every year. But if you have the smell, I mean, it's there.
You got to get rid of it.
Yeah, you don't have the smell,
especially
and not
before
have
you
the problem.
sell your car.
Exactly.
Okay. So there.
Then you just get the little tree air freshener if you're going to sell the car.
All right, Ron. If people want to find out more about this or anything they need done to their car or truck, where do they go?
We're very present on the web. You can go to westsideautopros.com, or you can go to askronthecarguy.com. Google Westside Auto Pros. It's pretty hard not to find us. And then we also still have a telephone. You can call us.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, 225-9090. I don't know. I haven't downloaded it. I don't know if we have any Pokemon at our shop. I haven't seen
They're
any.
popping up everywhere.
Yeah, I haven't seen any teenagers.
I'm sure if you pay the price, Ron, they can appear.
I haven't seen any teenagers hanging out around the dumpster.
Yeah,
or anything
a
lately,
cop was questioning some lady sitting in a car, and she was sitting there eating a sandwich or pizza or something, looking for Pokemon figures, and he goes, "Oh, there's one right over here." So they're happening.
Isn't that crazy?
So we'll find out tomorrow if there's any at the zoo too.
Oh yeah,
okay,
yeah.
So
There should be some at the zoo.
At Zoobro,
yeah.
And find out all about that. It's 7:20, and we'll be right back. You are watching CW Iowa.
Looking for a friend? How about a furry friend? These lovable pets are ready for adoption through Furry Friends Refuge, located in Des Moines and West Des Moines. 3 ways you can help: adopt, volunteer, and donate. Call Furry Friends Refuge 222-0009.